Good morning, everybody. It is 10:07 a.m. We just weighed in at 166.6, and this is the day in the life vlog. So we're starting it off right in the morning. So first things I do as soon as I wake up, brush my teeth, do all that type of stuff, change out of my pajamas, and I go weigh myself. So 166.6 is today's weigh-in. I didn't track any macros yesterday, kind of just ate, and I didn't even really follow my normal methods of like eating, where I follow basically, and I'll put it up like right over here, kind of how my eating works is whenever I wake up, I usually don't eat till around 12, and I usually space out my meals pretty well with some snacks and stuff in between, and I try not to eat anything after 10 o'clock. So you could sort of call that like an intermittent fasting, where I don't eat until 12 o'clock. So this is the cup that I usually drink my water out of. It's just a shaker cup. I usually go, I don't know if you guys can see that, 16 ounces. Okay, so that's usually what I have first thing in the morning, and I mix that with the Isotonix Multivitamin. So it's first things I take in the morning. Alright, so I'm definitely going to keep a hat on for the rest of the video because my hair is horrible. Ralph, if you're watching this, I miss you, man. My barber. But yeah, hopefully barbershops open up soon because I need a haircut. So I'm just going to go over my supplementation really quick, which won't take that long at all because I'm only taking 2 things right now. So first up, Isotonix Multivitamin. So I think I mentioned this before in my first video, powdered multivitamin. If you guys want to check this out, I'm going to throw it in the description of the video, just the link. I really enjoyed taking a powdered multivitamin more than the pill, just because I can mix it in with the water that I drink in the morning. It makes it a little more enjoyable to drink. I know some people have tough times drinking water, so I mean, if you can flavor your water, and if you can flavor it with a multivitamin like Isotonix, I suggest doing so if that's easier for you to drink. And I know some people also don't like taking pills, so I mean, a powdered multivitamin is a great alternative, obviously. Again, I'll throw the link to this in the description. You guys can check it out. It is on the pricier side. It's around $30 a bottle for this bottle, and I think there's a larger bottle as well for $70. This small bottle honestly lasts me around 5 to 6 weeks. I just fill up the little cap here, and that's 1 serving, 1 dose. And that's all you really need, and I mix it with my 16 ounces of water in the morning. Next up, fish oils. Omega-3 fish oils. This is the 1200 milligram size. I'm not an expert when it comes to fish oils. I've been taking them kind of on and off for a few years. You can get omega-3 from things like salmon, cod, tuna. So if you have a diet that's very heavily fish dependent, like you eat basically fish as your main source of main source of protein, you already get a lot of omega-3. So I wouldn't say there's it's really needed for you if that's how your diet is. But if you're someone who doesn't eat a lot of fish, you don't get a lot of omega-3 in, I would suggest looking into the omega-3 supplements. Other than these 2, I also take a green supplement, which I don't have at the moment. I need to go get a new tub, but that's just like super green, superfoods, that sort of thing. I actually showed this also in my last video, the tub that I use. It's all out now, but usually I mix that with my Isotonix multivitamin in the morning and have that first thing, just a serving. And I haven't taken protein powder or used protein powder in like half a year, easily half a year. And I don't personally see any large losses in terms of not taking protein powder. I know some people live by it, and that's like their main source of protein throughout the day, and I really don't recommend that. I definitely would say, you know, try to have some sources of protein that come from actual food, like, you know, whether that's chicken or beef, or some sort of plant-based protein. Don't depend just on protein powder. I know a lot of people do. I did for a little bit, and you know, I was having like 3 shakes a day, and it wasn't good. But yeah, I haven't bought protein in a long time, just because I try to get as much protein as I can from regular foods, and it's a $60, $70, $80 expense I can just save on. But I do actually have some protein coming in right now. I bought, I don't know if you guys have heard of the brand before. It's called Ghost Supplements. I've tried their protein before and I really liked it. It's just it ships from the States, and with the conversion and shipping, it ends up being a lot of money. But yeah, I decided to just invest in some this time. And yeah, so I have some coming in, so I'll actually make sure to record that and put that out there for anyone who's interested in what protein I'm taking. This is the second time I'm trying Ghost, so I'm not an avid user, but I'll give my little review. So yeah, protein is the other supplement I take. Again, I would suggest getting protein from normal sources of food before you lean over to getting it from powdered protein itself. But yeah. Okay, so the next thing I do is I do a little bit of foam rolling. So I got the foam roller over here, so I just kind of foam roll my back, like the upper part of my back, kind of where my neck is, because that's always stiff in the morning. And I do a little bit of my hamstrings. And yeah, I've been running a lot lately, so I just try to make sure that I roll out my hamstrings and my calves as well, pretty well, just because that gets always like a little stiff. Yeah, so I do that for about 5 minutes, and after that we're gonna go on a run. Alright, so finish up the run. We got breakfast here. It is 11:52, so almost 12. I guess it's not right on the dot, but yeah, we're gonna start eating now. So we got some honey oat toast with avocado spread on it. We got 3 egg whites with 2 whole eggs here. We got some water, and we also got, oh man, that's kind of gross. And we also got some fish oil. All right, 2 caps of fish oil. And we're gonna eat this now and get the rest of the day going. And I'll actually throw the macros up on the screen in just a second for this meal. And yep. Alright guys, so finished up breakfast, and I actually had a little bit more food. I had 3 like mini blueberry pancakes, which I'm gonna add into my fitness pal right now, and I'll throw them up what my updated macros are, my updated calories with those pancakes. So yeah, that was kind of like my entire breakfast, I guess. So the eggs, the toast with avocado, and then the blueberry pancakes, and the omega-3s with some water. So we sip water throughout the day. So one thing I want to say though is, in terms of my nutrition, I'm not like aggressively tracking my nutrition. I'm more just kind of staying aware of what I'm eating throughout the day, and kind of keeping it consistent day to day, so it doesn't vary much. Like my breakfast is like literally the same every single day. For some people that doesn't work. They need some variation. I know, I get that, but I think, you know, the more simple you can make your nutrition, the easier it will be in the long run. So if you're someone who can do that, then try to. If you can't, then if you need to change it up here and there, just try to change. So for example, if you have something kind of standard like eggs and some, oh my god, what the hell? Okay, if you have something sort of standard like eggs and toast, instead of having toast as your source of carbs, maybe have a bagel, or maybe have some oatmeal or something like that. If you want to have a different source of protein, maybe have a little bit less eggs and throw like some turkey bacon or chicken bacon or something like that, where you can, like, a different source of protein for breakfast. So you know what I'm saying? So like the macros will more or less stay similar. Obviously it's going to vary a little bit, but the whole idea is that you're kind of replacing things here and there with different sources of those macronutrients. So that's something really I think important, and something that's really good for anyone to learn when it comes to understanding your nutrition and understanding eating. So for me, like I said, I'm not aggressively tracking, I'm just kind of paying attention to it. But for this day in the life video, I wanted to track just so I could give you guys a better idea of what I'm eating, and even for myself, just to see kind of what my actual specific macros are. So yeah, that's how we're gonna roll out with today. Just past 12:30, 12:33. Gonna get some work done on the computer. Got some summer school courses to go and finish up for the day. give a huge shout out to my girlfriend Jasmine and her company Sistera Jewels. So this is her business card now. Super proud of what she's been doing so far. She makes handmade sustainable jewelry out of like paper products, and I'll just do a little screen recording of her Instagram page for that. So yeah, she's crushing it. This is all her contact info at the bottom. You know what, I'll just plug it at the bottom in the description. But yeah, crushing it. Good job. All right, so it is, how was that, 5:21 in the afternoon. I always get asked why it's the 24-hour clock. I think I changed that back like on all my devices back in like grade 10 or 11, and I'm just so used to it now. I need to just find a spot. One second. Okay, 5:20-ish in the afternoon. Just been sipping on water. Like I literally fill this up to the top and I just sip this all day, and then I fill it up again at night, because you know those ones where you wake up and in the middle of the night and you're mad thirsty. So need to have that always on deck. But I had a frozen lemonade from Tim Hortons, medium, and then when I got home I had 2 yogurts, which I've thrown away now. But yeah, so adding those on to MyFitnessPal. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at today. We're gonna have a little snack in a minute. Actually, probably gonna have like a dinner sort of meal soon, like a big meal. I have a lot of protein left, which is something I guess I should be a little more aware of now that today that I'm tracking, which I normally don't do, like I said. I think I'm definitely missing some protein in my diet, but once I get the protein tubs that come in that I ordered, I'll be able to supplement a little bit of protein. So that's what I'm trying to say when I said earlier, like, you know, I try to get as much protein as I can from food that I'm eating throughout the day, but and avoid supplementing it. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you don't eat that much chicken and fish and beef or whatever, you know, any other sources of protein throughout the day is hard. So just to hit the numbers that we're looking to reach, which I'm actually going to put up right here. I didn't mention them earlier, the macros that we're looking to hit today, which is kind of like an average macro that I look to achieve every single day. It's kind of like a maintenance sort of goal. I'm not cutting or bulking right now, so that's kind of where I'm at. I am sort of looking to lean out a little bit. That's a little bit of a lie. I am kind of cutting, so these macros are a little bit below maintenance, especially with carbs. Usually my carbs are a little bit higher in the mid 300s, but this is somewhere around 300-ish, because when I'm aiming for that 350-ish range, it's usually when I'm in the gym and I'm training hard and training heavy, so I use those extra carbs, but the protein and the fat's kind of the same, so it's just a little shot at the carbs. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So I'll show you guys meal number 2, 3, I don't know what it is. Next meal in a bit. Past 10:30 now, so I'm officially done eating for the day. I didn't update you guys after that last clip of my meal. I actually had 2 different meals. So after that clip, I went and had a sandwich. What did I have? I had an everything bagel with some meat slices, some cheese, and some honey mustard on that, a little bit of mayo, and that was 520 calories. I'm actually just reading it off of my MyFitnessPal. You guys can't see, that's too bright. Off of my MyFitnessPal right now, because I've already entered in all my calories for the day, so I can't see the exact macros for each meal, unfortunately. I don't know if premium allows you to do that, but the basic version doesn't. So that was 521 calories. After that, for dinner, it was kind of a weird dinner. I kind of had 2 dinners. I ate at 8:15 and I ate again at like 9:30, just because that's just how it happened. But with dinner, I had a burger. I actually wanted to have burgers for dinner. I had these like lean beef burgers that I wanted to eat, so I had one of those. I was gonna eat 2. I had one, and then what happened was my mom cooked some pasta, and this brings up a pretty good topic of like eating while you still live at home and how you can balance the nutrition with that. So I know that's a common issue for a lot of people that I've worked with in the past, and even for myself, is that, you know, how do you balance
macro tracking and nutrition while you're at home. And the thing is that it's a real trial and error process, really, where you have to sort of experiment and see, you know, what type of ingredients, say, you know, does your family use, and what type of things you can cut out, right? So if your family eats a lot of cultural food, if you're used to eating a lot of cultural food from home, that might be something you have to try to sort of switch up a bit. So maybe taking over your own cooking a little bit. I'm not saying completely throw out your mom's cooking. That's not what I'm saying. It's just have a little bit more control. I try to gain as much control as possible for like my morning, like my breakfast and lunch, and anything in between is kind of, you know, up to me. I make those. I tend to eat whatever my family's eating for dinner. That's just kind of how I've always done it. Or if I cook my own dinner, then that's great too. Oh my god, so many alarms today. What was I saying? Yeah, so I think finding that balance of whether, you know, you can manage with what your family's eating, or if you have to sort of take that over for yourself, is something that everyone has to figure out for themselves. For me, like I mentioned, my mom cooked some pasta and I wanted to eat it. So I asked her, you know, I kind of knew what the ingredients were, so I was able to track them. So my whole dinner was 967 calories. So it was the burger, bun, some veggies, and some ketchup and mustard. And then it was tortellini pasta with chicken breast, and the killer with the pasta was the pesto basil. It had 12 grams of fat in the serving. I didn't take too much, so I estimated for 12 for one serving, which, you know, came to 12 grams of fat and 2 grams of protein, 1.5 carbs. And in total, for the end of the day, this put my total macros, I'm just going to throw it up right here, but it put my total macros at 131 grams of protein, 264 grams of carbs, and 89 grams of fat. So the fat is quite over. I didn't really want to go over 65, but to sort of make up for it, I was really low on my carbs. I was about 10 grams less than the minimum that I wanted to be, and I was also you know, just at the minimum for my protein as well. I was at 131, where I wanted to be anywhere from 131 to 150, I think, or 130 to 150, something like that. And the reason I put those ranges for myself, because I'm not really like tracking, is so I can have that that ability to be sort of lenient, where if I know that I'm going to be eating something that, you know, my family's eating that I don't have complete control over, I have that flexibility. So I think that's important for anyone, you know, if you're trying to track your macros, give yourself that flexibility, especially at first. And if you're living at home with your family, if you're eating what they're eating too, give yourself that flexibility where, you know, you can have a small range of macros to work with. So I think that's really important. So yeah, that ends the day in the life. So appreciate the support, and catch you guys on the next one.